Today we get to take a look at the second smallest figure from SH Figuarts, at least in the Dragon Ball series, and honestly, I don't even know if he's the second smallest, because there's still Tien. Single released figure that's really tiny. Let's look at the Prince of all Saiyans, and if there's ever a time that he's a prince, it's when he's a little tiny boy, right? You just associate Prince with being young. Look, I've completely lost control of my brain. I don't know what's happening anymore, but what I want to say is that we're here to review this figure. Let's move on. Dragon Ball, Vegeta, Mini Daima. Good God. So join me as we look at this Vegeta Mini from Daima, and then we do a fun little head swap. Maybe. Hope it works. They're continuing their theme of the purple and yellow, which we saw with little mini Goku, if you haven't seen that review of this little guy in that box. There's a lot of extra space in here, but they're just reusing boxes that have already existed, so no big deal. Let's look at the back of the box. You got some figure shots, and it lets you know that you got at least three other face plates, a few hands. I'm sure this is bare bones. Let's open this thing up. I'm tired of talking like a big dumb boy with them in the box, because you know that as soon as I open this thing, I'm still gonna be a dumb boy. It's in my blood. So you got to cut these things open from both sides so that you can see all of the incredible information, like this side that tells you, look, here's some things to do stuff with, and then on the inside over here, here's things to do stuff with. Now, of course, we're gonna probably end up seeing, I don't know, based on the animation yet, haven't seen Vegeta really much other than like 2 episodes. But look, we're probably gonna have a Super Saiyan version of him that comes out that is basically the exact same thing but a new head, and then Tamashii Nations is gonna charge you again for a full figure when you could have just put the head in there. Why do I say that? Because they did the exact same thing with Goku. It's real frustrating. But we're not here to complain, not yet. Well, we're not really here to complain. We're here to be excited about stuff, but sometimes things happen. And then we have to complain because look at how small all of this is. Look at how tiny his arms are. Ugh. All right, let's start with the Prince of all Saiyan's little tiny baby hands. So he's got this for his Ki Blast, which you gotta have. Good God, they're so small. Left and right of that. And of course, the left and right of this one, which is a good fighting stance or a different kind of Ki Blast. That's okay. And this one, which is a pretty classic standard fighting stance for the Dragon Ball line. Looks great. Honestly, all of these little hands, as tiny as they are, look great. And it seems like there's some airbrushing and stuff that's going on, and I don't know how they're doing it at this scale. These are going to be very easy to lose. I like the way they're doing this arms crossed thing, that it's like 2 separate pieces so that you don't have to worry about trying to get yeah, this is nice. This is good, and it's a full shoulder replacement, which is a pretty cool move. It does pop apart a lot, but I'm sure once you put it on the body, it's gonna be able to stay in place. There's that. And we got this little guy's face. Look at that, pretty cocky, classic Vegeta, looking good. All the line work and everything. So far, I'm happy. That's good. And we get this one here. Let's just zoom in. Whoa! Look at that face, man. The details on this, or as small as it is awesome. And you get this one, pretty grumpy boy, which, again, pretty classic for Vegeta. Always so angry, even still to this day. We also get this alternate headpiece, which is good, so we get some hair like blowing in the wind, which is nice, because you actually rarely see this, especially with Tamashii Nations. They're usually, I don't know, it's just rare to have extra stuff. But he's so tiny, it's nice that they actually included all these goodies. And while you're watching this video, just go ahead and do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Click the little like button and leave me a comment. I reply to every comment. It's a problem. It's good for you, bad for me. The faceplate on by default is this one. Just, again, very grumpy boy. But the brows are furrowed a little bit. Oh, no. So his head was actually off in the box, and now I'm wondering if this is going to be a bit of an issue. It's a very long peg. This is an interesting choice. As many things as they've designed head sculpt-wise, I wonder why they went this route. I do not like that this thing keeps popping out. It feels like it's not going in all the way, but it definitely is. It just comes off very easily. We'll swap that hair in a second. Let's just try to look at the details here. So the hair sculpt is all in one piece. So the nice thing here is that they're not doing the breakup of the hair into a separate item that's attached to his face or whatever. So this is actually working really well. It's very seamless, even though it's like obviously his faceplate is the different thing, but it's not obvious. That's why I'm saying it's seamless. So it's not obvious. Forget that part that I said. As far as the details of the body, looking honestly really nice. I'm liking this a lot for such a small little guy, but then they ruined it again with the neck. Why? That's the second Vegeta I've gotten where the neck, well, the front looks great. The back, that's pretty bad. Whatever. We'll move on. Let's put this other head on because it's this one's driving me nuts. All right, there we go. So this guy, real cool. And I know we have this new desk set up. If you've been watching older stuff, I had the desk mat and it just doesn't work here, unfortunately. What desk mat am I talking about? This one. Look at that. It's pretty big too. You can order yours, the link down in the description. We need to look at articulation. Seems like this might be a pain in the butt if his head keeps popping off, even with the alternate one. There's a huge cutout around the base of the head, and then that like joint on the inside might be helpful here. So crazy levels of left and right. Looks down really well. And if you can keep the head on, looks up really well. Which, of course, I mean, he's got a big head. Shoulders go out into a basic T-pose, and then he's got these armpit growth spots, which are very unfortunate. I don't know why that was the choice. This little mini Goku is an excellent feat of engineering, considering how tiny he is. This Vegeta, so far, not an excellent feat of engineering. No butterfly joints, just like kind of a big socket. His arms are a little too short to cross, but I guess there's enough movement there. The shoulders are definitely limited, and they're hitting here on the top part, which is unfortunate. Now he's got just little basic ball joints for the elbow. That's what that is. And then standard pegs for the wrist. This is just some kind of weird ball joint. He honestly feels like he should just have come with another figure. Like they should do 2 packs, or like you get a full-size character and this in the box. Like the engineering just makes him feel like he's not a complete figure. Looks-wise, I love him. I mean, he's my favorite guy, so I'm gonna love him no matter what. Oh boy, here we go. This is a serious problem. He can't do splits. I mean, I know you don't need to do splits per se, but that is a good judgment of how far a leg can go to kick. This looks like he's never stretched a day in his life. So he can kick forward, he can do that, but he cannot do, oh boy. This is gonna be incredibly limited pose-wise for posing. So yeah, can't get the legs out. Like, this isn't the kind of sidekick that I want from a Vegeta. Hopefully soon we see some people on social media that have like done light modifications to expand his range. Anyway, very basic knee joint, and then a standard ball joint and toe articulation, which the toe articulation's fine. It's really tiny. So very, very limited, but visually very nice. And then of course he goes really well with our little Goku boy, which we rarely see them on screen yet. So hopefully that changes soon. I don't know. Now, I do want to do that head swap thing that I talked about earlier, and I've talked about it in another video. I think the little mini Goku video, and probably somewhere else. The goal was to take this guy, his short little body from the Frieza and Namek saga, remove Gohan's head, and I'm already thinking this isn't gonna work. Look at that ball joint. Dang it. Well, that's kind of a sad thing. Doesn't really work. This is what I was hoping for. I wanted little Vegeta from, well, I think a couple times we see him like this, but what I can think of is the Broly movie, the new one, where there's like a flashback and you got what's his name? Kid Vegeta. Obviously, even if you bypass the joint issue, it just doesn't look good. Ugh, poop! So I guess in the meantime, we're just gonna deal with this thing. But it does go to show how much SH Figuarts has been able to reduce the size of their figures and still have okay articulation, I guess. I mean, Goku, again, great articulation. Love it. Whatever. I was like really banking on that. I was like kind of most excited about that swap before even doing this video and then working on it. I'm like, let's get through all the other crap so that we can talk about it. And guess what? Didn't work. See? Now, something that we do need to try out here is just to see what that process is like. Okay, those arms pop off really easily, which is great. And these little ball sockets, they're kind of like little wrist pegs. There he is. Look at this little guy. It is adorable, I guess, but he just doesn't have the articulation that I was hoping for. So that's pretty disappointing. Now, this guy's like 25 bucks if you're able to buy it in Japan or using a website like AmiAmi. The trick is you're going to want to like stack a few things to really save a bunch on shipping. And I've shown in the past that if you do this, it's generally way cheaper than buying in the US, even with like $4 shipping from some websites. Good God. Anyway, is he worth, we'll say, 25 bucks? Yes, especially if you love Vegeta or if you're loving Daima and you're like, well, I'm going to buy all the other characters. Piccolo's going to be questionable because he's a bit more expensive because he comes with his cape, armor stuff. Anyway, is he worth $35 if you're able to find him for that? I think you're going to have to really love Vegeta or Daima to feel like he's worth the 35 bucks. That's kind of a standard price for SH Figuarts, but these guys are super small. There's no effects. There's really bare bones in these boxes. So the $35 price tag is wild for this guy. I felt like he was worth it because the engineering and the articulation stuff. But if you want to see the Goku review, then click the top link there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.